This is Rockin' with J-Man. It's with 7Horse. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Jan, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Just enjoying life.
Right on.
So, for those who are watching and not familiar with you, can you tell me more about yourself?
Sure. Well, I've been in the rock and roll business for about 3 decades. Started in the early 90s in a band called DADA, which was a power trio alternative rock band. We had a hit record in 1993, a single called I'm Going to Disneyland that went top five modern rock. And we had a lot of success early on. Did a world tour opening for Sting, played a lot of really cool shows, had a major label record deal for a little bit, and then the whole thing imploded, um, like it sometimes does in the rock and roll business. I ended up back in my hometown of Las Vegas as a member of the Blue Man Group, playing drums in the show. And then about 2011, we released the first 7 Horse record, myself and my partner, Joey Callio. We were both members of that trio Dada, but now we sort of reinvented it as a duo, guitar, drums. I started singing lead. He was playing slide. Um, 5 records later, here we are. The Last Resort just came out on October the 28th. We just did our album release show at the Roxy a week ago, November the 4th. And I think that brings you completely up to date, my friend.
So, tell me about the phone call when you found out you would be in Wolf on Wall Street.
Oh yeah, The Wolf of Wall Street. Well, that was really cool because, we made this first record kind of just as a desperation. We were trying to get our old band back in the studio, and sometimes that band politics is kind of rough. You don't get everybody together, you can't make a record. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the stories from. I see you've got a lot of rock and roll photos on your wall, so I know you know the history of the whole thing, and you know how tough bands are to keep together. Anyway, we were trying to make a record. We couldn't do it. We went in the studio. We had some time available. We threw down this idea, Meth Lab Zoso sticker. We didn't even know what it meant. Um, Time passed. We went out and played some gigs and did some touring, and we're making our next record. And then all of a sudden, we get this email out of the blue. Hello, I represent Martin Scorsese. We would like to use your song Meth Lab Zoso sticker in The Wolf of Wall Street. We're like, what? How is this even possible? Is this a joke? Is this some one of those scams where they try to get your social security number and, you know, take your credit cards from you? But it turned out it was real. And it was an amazing moment. The song ended up in the film, kind of put us on the map. It's our signature song, our big set closer, and the thing that everybody knows us by. And it just goes to show you, you just keep on working. Sometimes good things happen.
So, do you just have those scenes on loop playing out through your house?
That's a good idea. But no, I do tend to watch it when it pops on. It's on TV a lot. So if I see it, I flip it on, and I like those scenes. Margot Robbie and Leonardo DiCaprio doing their thing. It's always nice to see that. It's Martin Scorsese is. I don't know if you know that much about him, but he's a legendary film director, and he always uses music in a really cool way. So it's an honor to be in a film that he directed, and it's something that lasts forever. So we're pretty happy about that.
Meth Lab Zoso is a pretty wild name for a song.
Yeah, Meth Lab Zoso sticker. I'll tell you how it came about. My partner, we he lives in Seattle. I live down here in Los Angeles. So the way we write a lot is we trade iPhone voice memos. We'll record little ideas, send them back and forth, and then we finally get together. We work on that stuff. So one day I got this guitar riff, the opening guitar riff, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, this country blues riff, and the title said Meth Lab Zoso sticker. Now, Meth Lab was popular because Breaking Bad was very hot at the time. Zoso, I know what that is. That's Led Zeppelin reference. My partner really loves Zeppelin. Um, Sticker, I just figured, well, that's a Led Zeppelin sticker stuck on the outside of a meth lab. That's how I took it. But I didn't know that it was his intention just to temporarily name the riff. It wasn't like this is a song title, but I took it and sort of ran with it and turned it into like this old style blues kind of a vibe where it's a guy who rolls into town talking about what kind of a badass he is. You know, I got a Meth Lab Zoso sticker rolled up in my pocket, like, hey, everybody, the man has come to town. So that's kind of where that comes from.
So you just put a new album, The Last Resort. So tell me all about this album.
Well, this was an album that was recorded during quarantine. Um, we were kind of faced with, we were shut down. You know, we couldn't go out on the road like everybody else. We thought, well, what can we do here to stay connected to our fans? We started a podcast. We did a lot of social media content. We also decided, well, if we can get him down here, and he got on a plane very early, came down to LA, we figured, well, we could make a record, started writing. And I think The Last Resort refers to this idea that when all else out there is shut down, you've got to go in here, into the imagination, the world that you create. That's the last resort. Your imagination, where it all starts for you. You can create your entire reality. And I know you understand what I'm talking about. You create your reality in your imagination, in your mind, and you project that out into the world. And that's what we did. And that's what the last resort is about. It's the last place you can go when all else fails. You go inside to find out what you want to do next.
Did you ever do some research in real meth labs for your song?
Real method, personal research? No, physical? No, not really. I mean, I've seen it on television, crime shows, police dramas, whatever, but I don't do a lot. I'm not really that interested in that. No, that's not my thing. But I know they have some around here up in north of Los Angeles. There's an area called, well, it's the Antelope Valley. I think might be some meth labs up there, but I haven't checked it out myself, no. How about you?
Uh, what do you mean?
Have you done any meth lab research?
No.
No,
Watch
I
Breaking
think so.
Bad, but
I
no,
hear you. Me too. Loved it. Great show.
very good show. Seriously though, do you
Mhm.
know how to make crystal meth? Since I
I
did
don't
some
think so.
chemistry on myself, I did some
All right.
chemistry.
Well, you probably know more than me. I'm not much of a chemist, but I do make a mean protein shake in the morning. I can tell you that.
It's kind of hard since I don't have the cartel near me since I'm in the Great Lake
Sure.
region.
Yeah, the marketing is the tough part with
Yeah,
everything. You know, it's easy to make stuff. You got to sell it. That's the hard part.
gotta smuggle everything.
Yeah.
So, how did you come up with the idea for hippies on acid?
Well, hippies on acid is a sort of a commentary, that it's another sort of commentary on what's going on in this crazy world that we live in. You know, it's not necessarily if you look into the lyric, the line is seems like we're all hippies on acid, right? So the idea is, man, this world is crazy. Look at what's going on out there. Look at how weird people are acting, how crazy they are. People are losing their minds at McDonald's. They don't get their order right. They go absolutely ballistic. It seems like people are on a bad acid trip. Now, I don't know if you know a whole lot about LSD. That was more of
Oh
a
yeah,
60s and 70s drug, but if it goes bad, it can really go bad for you and make you do crazy things. So the idea is, this world has lost its mind, and it seems like we're all hippies on acid, and it's a bad trip.
have you ever had a bad trip, man?
Fortunately for me, uh, I didn't. I haven't. I have. I mean, I don't want to. I don't know what the rating is on this show, and I know you're a young dude, so I don't want to advocate the use of illicit substances. But um, All my experiences have been positive. It's been a while though. I don't find myself indulging in that at this point in my life. But there was a stage there where I did, and I was fortunate to have a realization through these mind expansion substances that everything is connected. We're all one being pulsating and vibrating the whole planet together. I think if more people realize that, we might treat each other a little better. What do you think?
I think so too, man.
Yeah, I mean, what's good for me is actually good for you. We just don't ever think about it that way. We operate on this idea that there's not enough to go around. There's not enough to go around. We have to get ours. We have to beat out the other guy. That's what we're being sold by politicians and by advertisers. But I don't think that's actually true. I think that benefits them and not us. I think that more cooperation brings more happiness to everybody.
So what's up with DADA?
Dada, yeah.
Oh
Well, that
God.
was our. Yeah, no, it's all good, man. It's good. Dada, it still exists. Although we haven't played together now since 2017. Well, we did a little during the lockdown. We did a little live stream. 7Horse did an 8 hour continuous live stream during the lockdown, and we had Dada do a little bit of a set, a little reunion set. We invited people are always asking us about that and why we don't have our guitar player Michael Gurley, who's a great musician. Why isn't he with us? And that's a question better asked of him than us. We invited him to participate in our show at the Roxy. He had other plans that evening. But it's all love. We don't rule anything out for the future, but we like to move forward. We like to, yeah, and it's so hard to do this to begin with that when you need everybody pulling on the same side of the rope to make any progress. If you've got tension in going in opposite directions, you can't really do anything. So um, we're here, we're doing our thing. You never know what may happen in the future. All love to him though. He's a good dude.
Are you guys ever gonna get back together?
Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? But I mean, I just kind of what I was just alluding to. It's like we don't take anything off the table. We have a new record out, a new 7 Horse record. We're focused on that. But if the opportunity presented itself and everybody wanted to do it, and it was the right time, it would have to be something that everybody was into, and but it's not something I'm pushing for because we're really proud of what we're doing right now, and we're moving forward on that. But I know that there's interest out there for it, and that's cool. I get it.
Um, so when your hit song "I'm in Disneyland" came out,
Yeah.
did you ever get to go to Disneyland for free?
Well, there's a funny story about that. Actually, instead of getting to go there for free, when we put out I'm Going to Disneyland, we heard that they had a high level executive board meeting at the Disney company about suing us and
Seriously?
trying to stop us. So that, like, all the big executives sitting around a conference room table deciding, should we sue this little band from Los Angeles and stop this nonsense? And they eventually decided against it. I mean, it might have been better for us had they gone ahead. We probably would have gotten more famous.
Yeah.
But I don't. I think But nevertheless, that song has lasted for 30 years. We just played it the other night at our show at the Roxy. We had the great Cherie Curry join us from the Runaways. Do you know who they are?
Yeah. I've
The
interviewed.
Runaway. Yeah. So she came up and sang Disneyland with us, and that was really cool.
I got a little story myself about Disney. My
Oh yeah.
grandfather and his lawyer were able to get Disney operations over here in Niagara
Mm.
Falls,
Mm-hmm.
and they were gonna build it like right by the falls. It just had the people. They said that it would ruin it,
Yeah.
and now the falls are basically only known for the falls, and it's probably one of the least visited cities
Yeah,
in.
I've been up there. I've been up to Niagara Falls and played a gig one time. Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot going on besides the
It,
besides the
it's
waterfall.
kind of sad, and
On the U.S. side in particular, I heard the Canada side's a little bit nicer, but I don't know. It was a little rough in Niagara Falls.
uh, everybody really just comes here for the falls or Canada.
Yeah.
What was it like the first time you heard yourself on the radio?
Hmm. That's a good question. That's something that musicians never forget. And that was in Dada. We were in a van. Oh, there he is. We were in a van. We were driving on the Interstate 5 in California from some gig in middle of California, and we were listening to the radio, the rock station. We thought maybe they might play our song, and I think it was Hendrix, then Led Zeppelin, and then Disneyland came on. And we it was just the three of us in the van. We went absolutely berserk. We had to pull over because we were going to crash the van
Oh,
otherwise, because people were just turning around. Whoever was driving, like, I can't believe this. We pulled the van over. We're climbing all over the seats. It was a special moment that you never forget, and it sounded amazing coming out of the car, coming out of the radio in the van.
what is it like touring after the pandemic?
Well, I don't know yet because
Oh,
I haven't been back out. We're talking about doing some stuff in 2023. The world has changed. There's no doubt about it. Things are, if you look at what's happening in the touring world, tours are getting canceled, shows get canceled. There is a downturn in attendance across the board. Not as many people are coming. It's become very difficult with gas prices and the
oh.
economics of everything to actually get out there and do it. It costs a tremendous amount of money, and people, I think, got used to watching things on live streaming and watching, just staying home. So it's really hard. I think you have to bring a lot of value, and that's what we try to do. Try to put on a a bigger production and bring a lot of value to the show and make it something that's really an event. That's what we did at the Roxy. Um, but I hope to get back out there in 2023 and get a taste of it myself because I love the road. I love playing out there. I love meeting people and coming from, going to town. And I hope they turn up.
What's the best venue you've ever played?
Well, my favorite venue that I've ever played is the Greek Theater in Los Angeles. It's a 6,000 seater outdoors. It's a legendary classic venue here in LA. It's just the right size. It's not too big. I've played in some really big places, 25, 30,000 indoors and out. But there's something magical about the Greek Theater that we did it with Sting in 1993 for 4 nights. I've always wanted to get back there. I haven't been back since. The other great one is Red Rocks in outside of Denver. Fantastic venue, beautiful setting, outdoors under the stars. These kind of places are designed to listen to music in. Small clubs, the Roxy's a great room that we just did. Um, that one immediately jumps to mind. The Roxy's probably my favorite room in Los Angeles. And we played an opera house with Kenny Wayne Shepherd in Delaware that was beautiful. Um, there's a bunch of cool rooms around the country, but those are my favorites. And then there's, of course, in Europe, we played some amazing old Roman-built coliseums in France with Sting. Played a soccer stadium in Portugal that was really cool. But those ones that I named are the ones that really stick with me.
What is your worst venue you've ever played?
Well, there's a couple. There's a room in Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm just going to go ahead and name it because I never want to go back in there. It's called the Nick. It's a famous room. It's a famous rock club. A lot of people have played there. It's the filthiest building I've ever been in my life. There were cigarette butts all over the floor of
Oh,
the stage. Never been vacuumed, never been cleaned. It's a real dive, a real serious dive. Now, some people really like that, and I get it, that kind of grungy atmosphere. Me, I don't particularly enjoy that. There was another wild one in Columbus, Ohio. We played a place called the Tree Bar. Now, I don't say it's the worst venue I've ever played, but it is one of the most unique because there is a literal tree growing in the middle of the room, like a stump of a tree. So they call it the Tree Bar because they built the bar around this huge stump. I got up on the stump with a megaphone during the show and did a bit up there. That was pretty bizarre. But those are the ones that I've. you know, I've never forgotten.
Um, what's on your rider?
The writer, nothing too spectacular. We don't ask for that much, to be honest with you. A little food, water, maybe some beer. We don't have any super hardcore. It's really not about all that for us. The trappings and the whole thing, I really couldn't care less, to be honest with you. I want to get out there in front of people, do my thing. That's what I'm about. Backstage, I'm going to eat a bologna sandwich and drink a beer after the show. Maybe have a whiskey if I'm feeling like it. It's nice to get some fruit. Sometimes you're out there, it's tough to get. We our requests are not that hardcore. I've heard, the green M&Ms and M's and that whole thing. Tea, hot tea. You want some throat coat if you're a singer. It's nice to have that. But if I want to go out and eat, I'm going to go out and buy myself a nice meal. I don't need it on the rider.
Do you have a ritual before you guys go on stage?
Yes, we do. You want to warm up. You warm up. You do all this stuff on your own. You warm up. You get ready. As a drummer, I got to get my hands loose. I got to get my body warmed up. I got to get my mind right. I got to get focused. Everybody needs to do that. You get dressed, you get ready to go. Now, once you're ready, like a lot of people, we get the band together. We put everybody in a circle and we say a few words about where we are and why we're here and what we want to give to the audience that night. And I always close it with the same thing. I ask for assistance. I say, may the gods of rock smile on 7 Horse tonight, because we want to call on, you know, John Lennon and Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain and on, all the gods of rock and roll and blues that we are influenced by, and we call on them to help us through our show. So we always finish it with "May the gods of rock." I used to say "May the gods of rock smile on DADA tonight." Now I say "May the gods of rock smile on 7 Horse tonight."
What is your favorite memory from playing the show?
Uh, right now it's all about the last one we did a week ago. I tend not to look back too much. I tend to look more forward. So the thing in my mind now is what a great experience and what a wild time it was a week ago at the Roxy. But I'm much more concerned about what we're going to do next. I'm much more looking forward than I am back. But there's been a lot of great moments on stage over the years. Really, it's about the crowd, the reaction, the love that you feel from the people, that transference of energy from the band to the audience back to the band, that circle that you make together, because there is no show without the audience. It's really all about everybody doing it together. It's not the band does it and people watch it. That thing that is a rock show, that's a thing that everybody has to do. So to make it great. Um, so I always think back to that, the great crowds, the great responses, and the energy that we share. And really, what that is love, man. That's love of music and a human experience being together.
What is your worst memory?
uh, my worst memory is when, when technical things derail the show. That's always disturbing. Back in the old days, in the Dada days, sometimes your mistakes though are some of the best moments. So people make mistakes, they forget the lyrics. It feels embarrassing in the moment, but the audience usually doesn't care. But when things go down technically, when you're stopped in your tracks by a guitar rig that goes down or a broken drum head, I've put my foot right through the bass drum one time, and that really slows the show down because now you've got to figure out how to deal with that. Those things are hard to deal with. But I don't have a whole lot of bad memories about shows because even on a bad night, it's better than sitting around watching TV.
What's next for you?
Well, we just finished this show. We're putting together all the video and the photographs from the show. We're going to start rolling out the content on that. We're looking at the live recording of the show. Perhaps we'll release that. Um, and we're looking toward next year for more live performances. What are we going to do next year? Where are we going? We're making plans for that right now. So 2023, I expect to be busy. I expect to do a lot of gigs and, staying healthy and going out there and giving it everything we got.
How do my followers follow you?
Well, we're everywhere. You can be on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We have a website, 7horsemusic.com. It's the number seven and the word horse. It's one word, not seven and then horse. It's 7Horse. So anything you look for with seven and the H right up next to each other, that's how you find us. 7horsemusic.com is our website. You can join our newsletter. We send out emails to people, let them know what we're doing when we're coming to town. You can follow us on Bands in Town and on all the social media platforms. We try to stay as connected as we can with our followers and our fans.
Any cool merch?
Oh yeah, lots of cool merch. Lots of cool. We spend a lot of effort on we have a great artist that we've been working with, a guy named Wood Simmons, who did all the art for The Last Resort. And it's really kind of like a little bit psychedelic, but more, it's very, I don't know, it put a whole new spin, very imaginative, and we've got different items that are available, his designs on shirts. I think they're really cool. They don't look like traditional kind of like rock merch. It's a little more artistic than you might normally see in the sort of generic rock merch. I think it's really cool.
You know you gotta hook your boy up with some fresh gear, please.
Well,
Please.
we can do that. We can get you something. I mean, we'll definitely hook you up. What size?
Large. Don't.
Large. Okay, gotcha.
I'm a
Let's make
big
that happen. Yeah,
boy.
I see. I got you. I got you. All right, we'll see if we can make that happen, man. If you wear it, you've got to wear it and show it.
I will. Like I said.
Okay. All right. All right, Jam man. I hear you.
Okay, fun question time. You're on death row and it's time for your final meal. What's on the menu?
I'm on death row. What did I do? Let's see. My final meal. Well, I'm gonna have a ribeye. Between medium rare and medium, I like a little bit more firm, but I don't want it overcooked. A really nice ribeye with some garlic and rosemary in the pan, a little butter basted on top. That would be good. I'd probably have maybe I'd go all out on that. Have a baked potato. Maybe I'd also have a little pasta with it. I'm going heavy carbs on this last meal. Um, I'd have a an old fashioned. I'd start with an old fashioned. They probably wouldn't give me this on death row, but I need a cocktail. So I'd have an old fashioned, but I probably couldn't get that on death row. And then maybe so I got the steak. I got maybe a little pasta. I got the baked potato. Maybe I'd have a classic Neapolitan pizza as well, from direct from Italy, because I just was over there earlier this year and got into the pizza over there. It was amazing. Um, for dessert, I'd probably go with. I really like key lime pie, but I also like chocolate. So I'd probably have a maybe a chocolate lava cake or something like that. Um, and then I'd have a big bowl of homemade popcorn before it was time to go because I like popcorn. I have a really cool way of making it. If they let me make it on death row, I do it for the whole cell block.
How are you going out?
How am I going out on death row?
Yeah,
What? Man, this is a morbid question, Jan, man. How did you come up with this? Uh,
Oz.
I don't know. It's going to be, I think the blindfold, maybe the blindfold, and maybe I'd go with the guillotine. I don't know, something old school. I think I'd like to go in a very, when they chop your head off, I think I'd go in a very dramatic style. I don't want like the lethal injection or the electric chair. That might be fun. You know, something
Bro,
something very dramatic though. You think I was going to say lethal injection?
everybody at least has some sanity in them, but not that,
Well,
bro.
I mean, if you put me on death row, I'm going out in a blaze of glory. The other thing I could be is just exploded. Like I could sit on top of a bomb and they just blow me up. That would be
Oh, so you're
exciting,
basically how about you pull off an ISIS? Okay, then if you want to pull off
right?
an
It's got to be dramatic, man.
fire squad's kind of dramatic.
That's true. Firing squad, blindfold firing squad, that would be traumatic as well. But I really don't want to ponder that. I mean, we're only here for a short period of time. Let's make it last as long as we can.
Oh no, bro, you're gonna die today.
Oh, Jesus.
If you could have
God,
any
heaven forbid. May the gods of rock smile on me today.
okay.
Thank you.
Wait, is that your
Keith,
god? God,
Keith Moon. Keith Moon, protect me today.
I just interviewed oh my god, I can't believe that's very um long I can't believe I forgot the guy's name.
Oh, or what? Would he have something to do with Keith Moon?
Yeah, he was what's his name? It was John. No, not John. Yeah, it was John Longman. Or he's that
Uh,
famous drummer. He worked with the Who.
talking about, well, he worked with the Who. I mean, not Zach
And
Stark, not Zach Starkey, not Kenny
he
Jones.
worked with John Entwistle.
Oh, John Entwistle. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure who John Entwistle's drummer was.
Dang, can't believe I forgot it. Okay, if you could have any superpower, what would you choose?
I'd probably fly.
Probably
I'd
fun.
probably be able to fly. Flying, I used to have flying dreams all the time when I was your age. I used to go to sleep and I'd find myself just sailing over the tops of cities, and it was so real and so, it was just like the feeling of that freedom, like flying like a bird. I mean, that would be amazing.
Let's say you could choose any song ever written by any band, and it can be that song where you were the one who wrote it and it was your song. What song
Yeah.
would it be and why?
That's a good question. It'd probably be a Beatles song. Because I'm Lennon McCartney are the kind of the pinnacle of all songwriters. I mean, there's so many great songs, though it's tough to name one. Or maybe it would be, you know what? I'm going to switch that. If I could have it, I would have written "Gimme Shelter" by the Rolling Stones, Jagger and Richards. "Gimme Shelter." One of the greatest opening riffs of all time. The mood of that song is so right on point with the sort of dark, sinister undertones. That's super cool, and it would fit perfectly in 7 Horse. So, "Gimme Shelter" would be the song.
Well, thank you for
Or jumping Jack Flash. Let me say that
okay,
one
okay.
too.
Well, thank you for being on my show, man. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and you have a nice night, man.
My pleasure. My
Man,
pleasure. You have a nice night too. Keep
yeah,
on rocking.
thank you, man.
Right
Peace.
on. Peace.
Okay.